Do you know your generosity identity? That's ultimately the heart of what I am trying to understand. My entire life, all the things that I've wanted to do with my life right now, professionally, and in many ways, personally as well, are just centered around understanding space and place. How do those two things come together to create learning that helps create generosity, that allows it to thrive, that allows it to explore in its own way, right? You can't control generosity. It's a thing that's innate to all of us. What we can do, especially as nonprofit professionals, because people ask me about the game, is it for kids or education or corporations and stuff like that? At least right now, I am going to focus on nonprofit leaders, board members, and the communities that they serve. Because we don't have a space and place to explore that idea that generosity is not the money. It's not even the time, the talent, the treasure. It's ultimately where trust comes into play. So that's what I have been exploring. And in today's video, because this is ultimately a limited series, we're trying to explore how I am going to get this game out into your hands. And next week, I'm going to roll out that vision. But for today, I want to give you a really awesome update on a free tool that I've created where you can understand what's your generosity archetype. I've created the archetype cards, but one of the things that I learned coming out of a special playtesting session that I did in St. Louis, thanks to my friend and collaborator, Rachel D'Souza. She brought me out, and I had a lovely time with about 10 folks, and we explored the game in what I would say was the trial by fire of what the Generosity Roundtable can become. And so what's really awesome is that one of the things that a few people have brought up, but they explicitly named, that group is so amazing. I already consider them, the second guild in people who will ultimately play and learn around the Generosity Roundtable. So St. Louis folks, you already got some players there. So one of the things that they identified is, before you play the game, could I actually even understand which of the archetypes might be me? Or at least, how do they work? So in just 60 seconds, I'm going to go through a special resource that I've created just for that purpose. Let's take a look. This is a generosity archetype quiz. You can get to it. I'll pop the QR code here, or it'll also be in the description of this video on YouTube. But ultimately, one of the things that I want to do around my peer learning network and community is that you opt into things. So I do allow people to provide their email, but it's not necessary to take this. And then, so what you do is that there's a series of 7 questions, and all of these align with different parts of the generosity spectrum archetypes. And again, these are rooted in philanthropic psychology. I am deeply indebted to Professor Jen Shang on how to think about this. And there's even 5 categories that the archetypes are part of. So 2 per category of motivations of generosity. And this quiz doesn't have to be, a lot of times people are playing the game as professionals, but I think that there's going to be space down the line where people will actually be able to explore this as a donor, as a volunteer, as a civic person. So I'm just randomly clicking so you can kind of understand, and then you just see your results. It's going to calculate that, and it's going to tell you with confidence. And that's a pretty good one, because we were doing a lot of random stuff. But if we were just doing this, as you could see, it could take you about 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. And then I've also included the free character sheet that I've started to test in live gameplay. So I am so excited to continue to build this game with you. I would love for you to take the Generosity Archetype quiz. Tell me what your archetype is. Does it resonate? Does it work? Do we need to play with the weight scales? I think this is going to be a great way for people to get into the gameplay and then to be able to start to apply this in their own work. But let me know in the comments what you think.